Hey everyone, Suri here. I'm going to try narrating the offense matches like I started with the defense matches. I did the recordings for each match as I was playing through them. I'm not sure if I want to keep doing that or if I should just go back and narrate them afterwards. Let me know what you think. Just to go over the team I used this week, Ike was the star of the show. I wanted to give him a chance to shine with his resplendent outfit. And it was a lot of fun overall. He's an incredibly effective tank with null follow-up, and his weapon refine. It's been one of my favorite units to use ever since he got that. Null follow-up I prefer to Null C Disrupt just because it really helps him shut down things like hardy-bearing Bramamons. And for the most part I feel like fire sweep effects don't really threaten him, so I'm not too worried about losing out on that. And sometimes it's actually a good thing because it can really help you just wall off a healer while you pick up the Aether pots. I brought Corin along as the bonus unit. I didn't let her actually fight too much, even several matches it probably would have been a bit easier if I had. She did get to take one match at the end. It was just something she was a lot better suited for than Ike. And a lot like last week, she's extremely resilient thanks to Shield Pulse and Mystic Boost. Mystic Boost in particular, I think, is the reason she can work in Aether raids now. The extra sustain really helps keep her safe over multiple combats, where she could just run out of health if she didn't have it. The rest of the team, the supports, I didn't change from their usual Ashnard-oriented setup, but they still do their job very well. Air is good in any situation, thanks to Tamari and Disarm Trap. And while I did, on a few matches, wish that I had included a way to give Ike +6 attack and speed instead of +3, it worked out well enough. Peony can't soak Bright Shrines from Corin, but Corin is soaking them from Ike, so it's kind of fine anyway. And Millis still soaks Dark Shrines and both chills from both of them, so he's very solid, and isolation support is great to have. Alright, let's get going with the first match. Alright, so this first match of the week, I usually don't expect too much out of the first one because, well, right at the start of the week, it's, especially if you haven't lost any lift yet, you end up getting matched against just about anyone, really. And this was fun, though. I haven't seen a flyer ball in a while, and even if it doesn't look too intimidating, merge-wise, they have a lot of just in-combat shifts to power levels between all of these bonds and the ward flyers. Noka's Warrior Princess is so good. Hels got her aura, and Ashnard is, well, Ashnard. And there are a lot of debuffs to be concerned about here. So, on the other hand, Ike's not going to have any problems tanking through this. He won't be able to just one-round everything, which is kind of a good thing. But it does mean we need to actually consider how we're going to do this. So, I'll just go through these. I think I checked on all of these marches, yeah. So, the first order of business here is making sure we break this before we start the fight. And we also want to test these traps, just in case we need to use the space. Breaking this is important because Ike is not going to actually be able to knock Ashnard out or Claude out in one round. And if they get to keep their health topped up with the healing tower, it's going to be a little tricky to break them. So,
yes.
It's not too hard for us to deal with this, it just takes a couple of turns.
Got it.
And that was the real trap already. Excellent. And I'm going to leave Mila over here, because she'll keep Triandra isolated, and I'm pretty sure that is going to actually get Triandra knocked out. I'm not too worried about the Harsh Command hitting Ashnard, because, well, Ashnard's not going to get much done against Ike. And this positioning was actually kind of important, because this tactic room would really make it hard for Air to move up and break this tower otherwise. But now we can just smite her forward.
Yes.
Break it. Knight pulls her back.
Good morning.
Peony gets in position, and we can actually even just break this Aether pot right away. Uh-oh.
The time has come.
It's gonna take some getting used to with Ike's new lines. Okay, so we didn't get Triandra. But on the other hand, this is still fine.
Death's caress.
It will be done.
Let Ike work his way through this slowly.
Yes.
I'll tread lightly.
Moving him back here is actually something I am doing deliberately, just so he doesn't take too many in-combat debuffs at once. We're probably going to take quite a bit here, just because Triandra's not isolated anymore.
Which
But
way to go?
we'll see. He should be fine. And there goes Sunoco. Which is actually really good. She's the source of a lot of the combat buffs and debuffs that this team has, so getting rid of her is very nice.
Got it.
Yeah, I think we just finish off Hel here.
I'll tread lightly.
We don't take too much damage from it, and
Leave it to me.
that gets rid of some more of those combat debuffs.
Good morning.
Got it.
Maybe we just
Keep
wait.
moving forward.
I don't want to take that much extra damage here. And I'm going to wait before I break this too. I don't want Claude to somehow make his way over here and snipe Air.
And this.
That harsh command is actually getting really annoying.
Let's finish this.
Okay. Right, so it took a little bit of thinking actually, but sadly we aren't going to let Ike kill Hel, even though he could, but we're working with a pretty low health pool, and he would actually Aether Hel on her last hit point, which is bad because it resets the heal completely. So,
Good morning.
with Peony knocking Hel out, that's actually really close, wow, because of guard bearing.
Which way to go.
So then Corin can reposition Peony back
Tread
out,
lightly.
and Ike can finish Claude off. And now that they're only down to 2 units that can actually hurt Ashnard,
Death's caress.
or Ashnard, I'm too used to Ashnard, jeez.
Like this.
Hurt Ike, we should be completely fine, especially since he's going to Aether on his first hit.
And this.
Oh, actually, Altena does attack him. That's okay. We're fine. It's been a while since I saw just how ridiculous I can be. And actually, also, it's important that we didn't buff Ike when he moves up, because he was actually in range of that panic manner. So, and from here, it's easy enough for Ike to just clean up.
Keep moving forward.
Maybe this way.
Got it.
That was a pretty fun first outing for Ike. I don't know if all of the matches this week are going to be quite as close as that, but this was a good start. Alright, and on to the next match. This was a really interesting one to see. We're kind of making up for last week with these. They've got a +10 Sylvia, and Annette. Annette is actually really spooky here just because of the rally and the ruse. Triandra got a +10 Eliwood with his this is a really interesting skill for him. It makes him extremely bulky. I wonder if it lets him tank a hit from Duo Alphonse. It might, but the problem is that they don't really protect these structures too well, so it's not too hard to reduce that effectiveness. On the other hand, they've also got this. Ephraim's pretty spooky. And thanks to Time's Pulse and the 1 Infantry Pulse from Sylvia, he actually gets a fully charged Ruptured Sky immediately. And this, oh jeez, this is just horrifying. She's very spooky, and she's actually fast enough to sweep Ike as well. But I don't think that's going to be too much of a problem, because, well, she can do that. She's also she can't do much actual damage to him. So, as long as we keep her away from the backline, she's not going to get a whole lot done. And she's never going to attack Corin if she can attack Ike, because, well, Corin will actually counterattack her and one-shot her, so. I've planned some of this out ahead. I don't know yet how things are going to play out after the fight starts, so guess we'll see.
Leave it to me.
Yes.
I'm going to take the first couple of turns just to clear out a couple of structures. That'll make it easier to deal with Eliwood after the fight starts.
Good morning.
Got it.
I'm also going
Which
to
way
be
to go?
pretty careful to leave this Aether pot alive, or unbroken, I guess, because it does a lot just for keeping Eliwood up in this area of the map and stopping him from actually reaching our backline. And by breaking the tactic room, we can actually have Air break this panic manner,
I'll tread lightly.
and then they can get each other
Death's caress.
back out.
It will be done.
Maybe this way.
Like this.
The glimmer of life.
I'll tread lightly.
And while we're not going to actually get anything done to this Eliwood, he's not going to be able to get anything done to Ike either. A lot like Selena here. Oops, sorry. Oh good, and Selena did move to the left. Excellent. Oh no. And, well, yeah.
You won't like this.
Oh, and Annette's going to get herself knocked out. So we ended up in a really, really good spot here. Okay, so I did a bit of thinking, and we're going to actually be able to knock Eliwood out here, I'm pretty sure. So by repositioning Peony up,
Got it.
moving Ike here,
Good morning.
Peony can dance him, and Corrin can pull her back out of any threat range.
I'll tread
And then
lightly.
Ike... Oh, not quite. That's close enough. Right? I think this is still okay. Yeah. I think actually he'll just knock Eliwood out, thanks to the chill defense. And even if Eliwood lunges him, Selena can still only attack Ike or Corrin, and nothing bad will happen. Nothing bad will happen. Selena attacks first, she's going to get danced, she'll attack again, and she's very helpfully charging up Ike's Aether, so... We're going to actually have to be careful about this, because I think once Selena drops out of her push range...
In His Majesty's name!
Oh no. 3 damage. Oh, and Triandra's gonna get herself knocked out here too. Excellent.
You won't like this.
But, yeah, I need to check that, but she might actually end up not being in wind sweep range if she loses that 7 speed, so we'll have to make sure we deal with this quickly.
Leave it to me.
Or, of course, we could just let Sylvia stay alive for a turn while we pick these pots up, which is much safer. The Sylvia's actually really, really fast. She's not gonna do anything to Ike, but it's impressive anyway.
Which way to go?
Ready. The glimmer of life.
I bestow my blessing.
I'll tread lightly.
Oh, I don't think that's gonna quite knock her out. She just doesn't have much defense. Yeah, not quite. That's okay.
Got it.
And Ike takes another map. This time without any assistance from Peony. Or any attack assistance from Peony. So yeah, that went pretty well. It was a fun one. This third match was a bit of a step down after the last couple, but I can't have just highlights all week long, I guess. They're really heavily stacked on red. We've got a Micaiah, who can actually be a really decent counter to Brave Ike on her own, but she does need some investment and some pretty specific skills to pull it off. We've got a lean with V-merges. The speed tactic is interesting. It only hits Hel and Eliwood, but it does actually boost them significantly compared to what people might be expecting. And speaking of Eliwood, it's plus 10 Eliwood. Missing a seal is kind of odd, but he still gets his job done, I think. Got a Sothis, just base kit. Sothis is one of those units I think could have been much better if she wasn't stuck as a defense mythic. She's just... she doesn't... I've never seen... Oh, well, sorry, not never. I think I've seen maybe 2 or 3 really threatening Sothises ever since she came out, and that's unfortunate, honestly. I've got a legendary Lucina. Future Vision. Once upon a time, I hated this skill. Crom kind of supplanted that, but she's still a really good way to catch people off guard if they're not paying attention or they're not planning ahead. And Hel in her bonus week. No Mystic boost, though. Yeah. I'm not expecting to have too much trouble with this one. But on the other hand, we are going to take a few turns just to set up and make sure we clear these Aether pods so we don't have to worry about them later.
Yes.
Got it.
Like this. It will be done.
The glimmer of life.
Which way to go?
Maybe this way. Death's caress.
I'll tread lightly.
The glimmer of life.
Oh, good, and that was the
Good morning.
real lightning trap.
Yes.
Bolt trap. That's good to know.
Leave it to me.
Okay, now we spend one more turn getting in position.
The glimmer of life. Ready.
Got it.
Death's caress.
And then we should be good to get this started. I don't like running down the clock quite this much, but we'll be okay.
Leave it to me.
Maybe this way. Yes.
It will be done.
I'll tread lightly.
And breaking the catapult here is just to make sure that we have a guaranteed access to Eliwood on the next turn.
Death. And this.
Nope. So this could have waited a turn, or one combat, and at least gotten her solo active, but guess not.
You won't like this.
I still haven't gotten to pull a legendary Lucina. I've tried, I think, on basically every banner she's showed up on, but just... it's that one unit that just doesn't want to come home.
Leave it to me. And this.
Like this.
The glimmer of life.
Ready! Keep moving forward. I bestow my blessing.
Aw. 1 hit point. That's fine. I didn't even need Milla's extra turn. That one was a bit easier than the last couple. Guess we'll see what comes up next. Alright, on to the next one.
Leave it to me.
This was a little unfortunate to see halfway through the week. I know I've mentioned it before, but seeing a setup that's completely walled in like this is... it's a bit disappointing. It's always going to put the defenders at a major disadvantage, and when you decide to split it even further by having a unit in a corner separate from the rest of the group, I mean, at that point you're just handing your opponent free wins. Which is really unfortunate because their units are actually pretty solid overall. Although, I'm not too sure about the Lucina here. I guess she can help just prevent people from trying to blink at Hel and Ike from across the structures, but I don't know. It's... this kind of setup is just really unfortunate to see. But, oh well.
Yes.
I'll tread lightly.
It will be done.
Which way to go? Good morning.
There's not really too much to say about this, it's mostly just getting
Maybe
into position,
this way.
Like this.
pushing Ike in, and then we
I'll
knock
tread
out
lightly.
Triandra, which removes most of the problems from the fields already.
Death's caress.
Okay, so both of those are the real traps. It's kind of interesting. Ah yes, the bike cores. That actually does mean that Hel gets
You won't
knocked
like
out
this.
immediately here. Nope, no, not quite. Oh well. Oh no, look at all of that damage that Bram can do.
Got it.
Good morning.
I'll tread lightly. You won't like this. You're wide open.
Yes.
I guess we can just disarm some of these traps.
I bestow my blessing.
Which way to go?
And since they don't have a healing tower, this is basically just inevitable that Ike's going to end up coming out on top.
You won't like this.
Our Ike. Especially because the only thing they even had on their team that might deal with the bike is Brenneman. And, well, no follow-up makes Brenneman a lot less threatening than he usually is. So, yep.
Keep moving forward. Maybe this way. The glimmer of life.
Leave it to me.
It will be done. Like this.
Got it.
Yes. Good morning.
And no follow-up does a lot against something like Dusel as well, where most of his threat ends up coming from just the combination of his solo skills and the guaranteed follow-up.
I'll tread
So
lightly.
if you remove one of those from the equation, suddenly he's not so scary.
The time has come.
The triangle advantage helps too. Alright, that was another easy one to get through for today. Nope. Hopefully the next one's a little bit better. Alright. So, this is another fun one.
The
It's
time has come.
interesting, I haven't seen this many flyer balls in 1 week in quite a while. This one's running triple mythic with Yune and 2 Hels, which does a lot for making their front line really, really bulky. Especially since both Hels actually have Mystic Boost, so you have to do this twice. Quadza, yeah, is even at low merges, when you have 3 mythics to just pad up his health and speed, he becomes really hard to knock out easily, and, well, I'm always a fan of Ashnard, so it's nice to see him on a defense team. I'm not expecting too many problems with this, but we'll see. I'm also very deliberately not isolating their Dancer here, because it's actually going to help us knock out their units that I might not be able to finish off in 1 round. This Claude especially is, I don't think I can actually double him, because we don't have
Which way to go?
a way to give him an extra 3
It
points
will
of
be
speed,
Got
which
it.
is very unfortunate, but
Ready. Death's
I'll deal.
curse.
I bestow my blessing.
Yep, and there goes Claude. Excellent. So with Claude and Yune out of the way, that's already 2 major sources of debuffs that Ike doesn't have to worry about anymore. Right. I took a little bit to sort of figure this out. Most of this is just trying to make sure that none of these make it into our backline, because, well, that would be pretty bad for us. But I think I've figured out how to make this work.
I'll tread
So we're going
lightly.
to have Ike move over this way.
Yes.
Her will move up 1 space,
Maybe this way.
danced, and she can
The
move
glimmer
down
of light.
here.
Like
And
this.
Noah moves here.
Keep moving
Or I can
forward.
just break another structure. And then she gets danced. Oh no, she actually attacked Ike. actually do any damage. It
The
works.
time has come.
Oh, this is perfect.
Got it.
Well, mostly perfect. Still have to deal with this hell. That shouldn't be too hard to handle.
Which way to go?
Leave it to me. I'll tread lightly.
Ready!
Got it.
Well, I may have gotten a pen here. Oh, not quite.
I bestow my blessing.
Death's caress.
Not quite fast enough to double her here.
The time has come.
But we're reducing her to 7, so if we need to, Peony can just finish her off.
Leave it to me.
Keep moving forward.
Oh, I'm gonna go pick that up.
The glimmer of life. Maybe this way. Yes.
Got it.
Actually, Ashnard's probably gonna get in the way. Oh no, he went on the side. How considerate.
You're wide open.
And there goes one Hel. And the other Hel, can't remember which one had reposition actually. Okay, so that one didn't.
Got it.
Yeah, this should be enough.
And this.
Ready.
Well, maybe. I might need something else for finishing them off.
Leave it to me.
Nope, never mind. It's kind of hilarious because Ashnard's actually gonna get his soul here.
I will bring the fight to you. And this.
Alright,
It will be
and
done.
the rest of this should actually just be letting,
Which way to go?
like... Well, I think we might actually need to have Peony finish this off, because we can't sabotage her anymore. Yeah.
I'll tread lightly.
Death is absolute.
Sadly, we can't quite push Ike's speed high enough to double her anymore, because we can't affect her with Tamari. So I'm just going to finish her off with Peony and close out the match. That was a fun one. It's interesting that we're seeing so many flyer balls this week. Oh well, so we'll see what we get next. Alright, and on we go.
The time has come.
This is an interesting team. I think a lot of their plan is to try and bait people into just baiting Hector. Because he's pretty stranded out here, and I think the hope is that people will see that and be like, oh, you can just tank the Hector Eldigan and Flame all at once, not have any problems. They have a rally trap here, and that's where most of the threat is from. Azura dancing Bram is actually very, very spooky. 3 movement Bramamond with +7 to stats because of this hone. Can get a lot done. Flame's also very good at stopping people from trying to initiate onto the team. And she does a decent job of just covering the approach to make it hard to set up. Unfortunately, they are a little exposed here. I mean, a good ranged tank can deal with Flame pretty easily, and Mike's not going to have too much trouble with this either. One of the priorities here is just to make sure we don't finish the map before we pick these Aether pods up.
The glimmer of life.
Don't want to miss any for no reason.
Like this.
I'll tread lightly.
Which way to go?
It will be done.
Another thing I'm going to be doing is making sure we reduce this ARD skill a bit.
Death's caress. Good morning. Yes.
If it's at full strength, then Ike won't actually be able to double Sothis once she's got everything online.
The glimmer of life.
So we can just take our time, pick some structures, and
Death's caress.
set things up. Okay. I think we can... yeah, it'll be turn 5. It's a little late. I don't like waiting that much, usually.
Leave it to me.
Good morning. Yes.
But we'll be okay. Part of the danger of running visible buffs is, well, especially when the panic banner is the bonus structure, it's really going to cripple anybody who gets them.
I bestow my blessing.
Got it.
Oh, I was expecting that to be the real trap. Well, it makes things much easier for me.
Maybe this way.
I'm still not going to dance forward, because if I do, then Hector is going to get himself killed, and we don't want that, so...
Death's caress. Good morning. The glimmer of life.
I'll just back you up. It'll be fine. Without his follow-ups, Bramamond is nowhere near as threatening as he should be.
You won't like this.
Nope. And it's pretty easy for Ike to clean this up here. A lot of it's thanks to Milla isolating that column.
You won't like this.
But Bramamond wouldn't have rallied anyway, since he could actually do damage to Ike, so... And now it's just Hector, which makes this very easy to clean up.
Yes. Ready. Death's caress.
Leave it to me.
Yeah, I don't really see any reason why not.
Which way to go?
It will be done.
I'll tread lightly.
Yeah, we'll just wait for him. We've got time. That wasn't so bad. Next up will be the second to last match of the week. I hope. Alright. Match 7, here we go.
I bestow my blessing.
This is an interesting one. They're running an infantry pulse setup. Sonya is a really good corner for that, thanks to her weapon refine. That extra 10 true damage does a lot of work. One thing I do think, though, is that if you're running an infantry pulse setup like this, you should probably avoid Special Spiral. Because you're just aiming for the one-shots, especially with double Bramament for the extra 6 attack. Spiral it's very greedy. If you secure one-shot, that unit's job is done. And I don't know. Spiral tends to mean that you actually end up missing a lot of knockouts that you might have been able to get otherwise. Like, just for example, with Sonya, if she had a lull res, she'd be a lot more horrifying. But, hey. Alright.
Yes. Good morning.
Like this.
I'm not expecting Ike to have any problems with this at
A
all.
glimmer of light.
Between null follow-up and
Leave it to me.
Pulse Smoke, he really doesn't have many problems with infantry pulse teams. Or Bramaments.
Got it.
Let's see. Hold on. Yeah, this
I'll
is
tread
fine.
lightly.
It will be done.
Maybe this way. Yes. Keep moving forward.
So here, what I did was I forced Edelgard to be the first one to attack, which also means that Pulse Smoke disables both of the Bramament specials. And without that, they are nowhere near as scary.
You're wide open.
Also without, their guaranteed follow-up. It really just takes the teeth out of them, and then Micaiah just ends up healing Ike some more.
And this.
Neither of the others can get in range, so even if they dodged the Pulse Smoke, they're not exactly a problem.
I bestow my blessing.
Ready. Death's caress. Which way to go?
Like this.
Leave it to me.
Yep. Pretty basic, honestly. I think this defense actually has a lot of teeth to it if you don't bring specifically a null follow-up Pulse Smoke tank. But Ike is... I like Ike. He's very strong. Alright, on to the last one. Or hopefully the last one. Alright, this one's a rematch, and I wasn't sure what to expect, but turns out this is a very interesting setup.
The song doesn't
Oh
end.
shoot, that Okay. Should still be okay. A little annoyed because I think I was going to use Eliwood for this one, but... So, this one is really interesting. They have a Restore Trap with their Veronica, a Duo Altina on defense, which is actually a lot spookier than it might seem at first. Hel, Duo Byleth, and Legendary Azura. So what they've done is they stacked 2 Duo Harmonics to try and make sure that this stays active to prevent Ninja Sweeps and stuff like that. It works out really well because Byleth is actually surprisingly bulky thanks to the double Close Guard and Veronica and Hel and her own Rain. There's a lot here that just helps make her stronger. And of course, Windsweep means that most tanks can't actually deal with her as long as she outspeeds them, which, especially if you get baited into trying to use these defense tiles, she's probably going to because there are so many debuffs flying around here. So I meant to actually have Eliwood here, and this still works out the way I think it will. I think it will. I don't think we need the extra bonus doubler stats, but if I'm wrong, then I will blame picking the wrong team for this. So, this is also tricky because I'm glad I have this empty space, otherwise we wouldn't be able to isolate Veronica past the first turn. And this plan does involve clearing out these traps before they become a problem.
Yes.
Okay, yeah, as expected, this is in fact the real trap up here.
Keep moving forward.
And that's deliberate because they want to keep this tactic room alive.
Got it.
It will be done.
But we're not going to let that happen.
Yes. Maybe this way. Death's caress.
I bestow my blessing.
I'll tread lightly.
Okay. Sadly, Ike is not going to be the star of this show. He would get swept by Byleth, and I don't know how much I trust him to be able to deal with Altina.
Like this.
Oh wait, hold on. Since we don't actually have Eliwood here, I need to make sure that Corrin's at least getting some buffs. For attack.
Yes.
It will be done.
Which way to go?
Leave it to me.
Yep. So because I isolated Byleth here, it actually wastes both Veronica and Azura's actions because Veronica can't actually heal anything other than Azura. And our sabotages mean that Azura is always going to be debuffed as long as she's standing next to somebody. Here she'll run over and hit Hel, which means Triandra moves forward to dance, and then she takes the bait. And nobody else can actually follow through, so we end up with this. Alright, so I took a bit to think about this, just because there's still a lot to be careful of here. Most of it actually just revolves around I'd like to pick these Aether pots up, even if it's the last match of the week. It's good practice. So Corrin can deal with Veronica very easily, but if I leave her here, she's going to actually just finish everything off in one turn. And that means we wouldn't pick up the pots, which I would very much like to do. So instead, what we're going to do is we're going to take advantage of this Heavy Blade effect, which actually lets Corrin fully charge negating Fang again, even through the guard effect, because it takes 2 hits to finish Veronica off. And with this active, she's going to be able to knock out Altina, Hel, and Azura. Not Triandra, because we are going to bait Triandra.
The glimmer of life.
It will be done.
With Milla, who can actually survive 1 round of combat with her. And because Altina can actually do damage to Corrin, I'm not worried about Triandra getting rallied here.
I bestow my blessing.
And with that said, I'm going to leave Milla here and leave this intact, so on the off chance, we're still going to be okay.
Death's caress. Ready. Yes.
There goes Triandra, which is fine. Right. And at that point, all of the major threats are gone. Hel can't actually survive Corrin, so Azura gets herself knocked out. It's unfortunate, I would have rather left her alive while we pick these pots up, but what can you do? It's a tricky map, honestly. It's very well thought out. Because a large part of it is because there's only so far one isolation will take you against this. And if you happen to have a building in this 5th lane, you can't actually keep Veronica isolated past that first turn. So yeah, this is a really fun map. And of course we do still need to make sure that we keep this Triandra alive for another couple of turns. Alright, so not as hard as I expected at
Like
first.
this.
Good morning.
It will be done.
Got it.
Which way to go? The glimmer of life.
Alright, and there we go. The rest of this match is easy to clean up.
Death's caress.
And we'll let Ike finish the week. Even if we found a map that he couldn't handle on its own, it was still a fun week to take him out for a spin. Yeah. I'm glad I got to solve that one because they managed by, I think, about 20 or 30 minutes to stop me from hitting rank 1 again. Very rude, but that's okay. I guess Ashnar just gets to keep his undisputed rank 1 title for now. But yeah, it was a fun week overall. We didn't have too many that were just kind of bleh, and we got several fun ones, so it was a good week for Ike. Next week we'll probably be going back to Ashnar, or next flight season, I mean. And next week or I guess it'll be this week with when the video is published, we're going to have an interesting season, I think, because we're going back to Oliver, and I might end up using Kronya too. I got a Fatal Smoke for her, so kind of want to see that in action and see just how ridiculous it gets. Overall, it was fun. I hope you've enjoyed the video, and good luck with your own matches, and I'll see you next time.